Hey now, Breeze Nation, what is good? It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. We got breaking news as we jump in here. Let's get it cracking. Appreciate y'all
Oh,
tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Just updated the title, haven't updated the thumbnail yet, but Chicago Bears have officially signed Kiran, should I say Kiran? Got to say it the right way. Kiran Amegadjie to his rookie contract. The Bears have now signed 2 of their 5 rookies to their rookie deals. Good to see them starting to get some things done. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, man. We got the squad in the building, little squad. We got a little mini squad. Yeah, man. What's good, boys? How y'all feeling, man?
Man, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
nice. Good stuff. Good
I was
Tuesday.
about to say the next verse, and it was about to be an immediate flag. That was about to be crazy. You know what I mean? No, man, I'm excited to see the Chicago Bears getting
Shut up, brother.
signed to his deal. Oh boy! Shout out to the Breeze chat already going at Mr. Meaty boy. Said breaking news: Mr. Meaty did need a steak. We cannot confirm that. Those sources have not been confirmed as of yet. There's
I
still
won't
some
tell you.
question marks out there. King Booker World in the building. Brotherhood. Chris Osby, what's going on, man? Nick Emerson landed in the building. Landed, what's going on, man? Nah, man. I mean, listen, this is interesting news because, or this is good news because you're seeing the Bears get this stuff out of the way early. We're not sitting here holding off on this, working out all the money. The Bears are getting some of these guys already locked down. So good to see that Kiran Amegadjie is signed here. He's somebody who is going to be very interested. Do y'all think that do you think that he has a chance to push for a starting spot this season? Calvin already, JC already nodding yes. You think that he has a real shot to take over
Right.
that Braxton Jones left tackle spot?
You doggone right. I mean, I've said it before. I think Braxton Jones, we've seen the ceiling of Braxton. Braxton is a serviceable offensive tackle, left tackle. But I mean, you probably have seen the best of him. And that's not to say that Braxton is a bad football player. He's not, someone who could be a really, really good backup. But if you're talking about just talent wise, this is probably why the Bears made sure that they signed him, even though he's still going through some injury, which they already knew about. I think his skill set will eventually outdo Braxton Jones eventually. I think he will see the starting spot eventually this season.
Whether he starts or not, to me, realistically, it just shows me that Poe's being the offensive lineman himself, he was offensive line, wasn't he?
Offensive lineman.
He's offensive line. He's valuing that position heavily. He's also making sure that Caleb has enough protection, and in case one person goes down, he has enough there. That's the only thing I'm worried about. The only thing I'm really concerned about, realistically, whether he starts or not. We've had many seasons where, if it wasn't him, I think he was pretty healthy last season. Now that I think about it, but Tevin Jenkins goes down, something like that. Somebody has to come in. So it's just one of those things where he put a lot of investment into that, and I expect us to actually see him actually get some tick. Like, I don't know why. I just feel like he's gonna get some tick.
No, I agree with you on that, especially speaking from the aspect of right guys going down. He was a left guard in college. He spent some time there his freshman year. When you look at the fact that the left tackle position is open, that left guard position is one that some guys are in, some guys are out. It's not. I think that it's so interesting with this offensive line because I feel better about this offensive line coming into this season. I feel like there are some answers on this line this season, and you've got some young pieces that can step in and do some really good things. But the biggest question mark yet again, heading into another season, how healthy is this Chicago Bears offensive line going to be? I thought it was I thought it was interesting too. I don't know if y'all peeped today's episode of Chicago Bears podcast with Lance Briggs, but I asked him kind of about like everything Nate Davis went through, the Nate Davis situation. How do they view that? Because we know how the fan views it, right? And the fan's like, if your butt's out there, you got to play. Doesn't matter what happens in your life. Live your life and go. But like Lance broke it down in a way where he was like, when you lose somebody, especially if you're the NFL player, if you're the breadwinner in the family, right? And I'm talking about the big money guy. It's all centered around you. All the phone calls in the family are coming to you. All the arrangements in the family are coming to you. Anything, any problem, anything that has to happen, that's coming your way. So he kind of empathized a little bit with Nate Davis and saying, listen, like what we saw last season, he was going through a lot. He had to figure out, kind of what was going on and how he needed to navigate that. But he did say, if you're out there, you need to play. Yeah, I mean, and you need to play well. So there's still a standard held, but there's also an understanding even inside of that locker room. So I expect more from him this season. This offensive line to me has a lot more depth this season, a much more interesting situation for a lot of these guys. And the fact that you got Kiran Amegadjie already signed up and ready to go, I'm excited about that, because while he's not going to take part in any of the spring activities, there's some weird nuance around his injury. Like they kind of were like, the head trainer said he's medically cleared to play.
Mm-hmm.
But Flus says he's not going to play because he's still rehabbing the injury. So there's some chicanery around there, but maybe they're just slow playing that because you have a Braxton Jones in play. C-Dub, what are your thoughts on Kiran Amegadjie? You big Gedgie guy?
I'll be honest with you, I'm not too knowledgeable about the guy. I'll say this though: if our line is being improved and we're making these advances to make sure our quarterback is protected, we're going in the right steps. Everything is just looking good for the Bears. And then obviously, I know you're going to talk about later about the strength of schedule, and that all ties into it as well. The way how we're just building this thing around it, I honestly think that it's going to really make this team look like a contender. And I know that's a big statement because we got a young team, and, we still got to see our quarterback be proven. But honestly, with this team being built around Caleb, I honestly think that it's nothing but going up from here.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, that's the other topic on today. Just wanted to come on here. I mean, the news literally broke 5 minutes before we started. Shout out to I think Larry Mayer, the first person to drop that news on us. So the fact that you've got some young guys already locked up. You've got some young guys in place. That does excite me, especially, like you said, protecting your quarterback clearly seeming to be a priority. I like this comment from Bears Junkie. His lack of competition in college kind of scares me. I would sit there and I guess that's the one spot where I would come to Braxton Jones' defense, right? Because Braxton had a lack of competition in college as well. And he's an NFL. Say what we will, say how we feel about him. We know the bull rush, all of that. Oh, he's got to get better at the bull rush. I'm not very good at it. Yeah, I mean, he's an NFL starter. That says a lot coming from the strength of competition that he was facing. I don't think that it would be crazy to think that Kiran Amegadjie would be able to do the same thing. So I don't think that there will be a big issue with competition if you have an offensive line coach like we're doing Chris Morgan in place that already can get them ready to go. By the way, yeah, 100%. Over 100 in the chat. Hey, if y'all haven't done so, man, hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. The breaking news right now: Chicago Bears have signed Kiran Amegadjie to his rookie deal. They have now signed 2 of their 5 rookies. Did it throw you off a little bit that the punter was the first guy to go, or did that kind of check the box?
Hey man, you got to get the best talent out the way first. All right?
Oh God,
Big Toy Taylor action. All right, crocodile punch, baby.
That's premier special teams, baby. Premier.
My God.
And watch this man shank every punt he gets for the next couple of games.
I'm not gonna lie.
Hey,
Listen. This is a side note, and I don't want to sit here and go down punter row again. You know what I'm sick of the punter talk. But when I heard day one that like he started off by shanking punts, I was like, no. I heard that this was the Caleb Williams of punters. If Caleb Williams had been overthrowing footballs for 15 minutes, we'd be losing our minds. But he hit his guys in the hands, and so we love it. We got old Caleb Williams, a generational punter. I was told he would be the best punter in the NFL the second he walked in. You can't be shanking punts, my boy. Nah, you don't get that room.
It's so much that he can't control in that whole process, which just makes me wonder. Pose again, why? Why we go that high for him? Like, bro, I don't believe none of the calls.
A lot of people didn't think they would go for him. They actually were mad they picked him because they wanted him.
Yeah, dog. That's what I'm saying. Like, no, I don't believe them calls. in the 4th round, I think that they was like, "Hey, dog, you fleeced everybody else, but this one, you was tripping. You was just trying
Hey,
to show
bro.
off on this one. That's what
Hey,
this was."
this the tough part about all of that. Yurko said this on the Chicago Bears podcast when I was talking to him last Friday because he I didn't get to talk to him. He was like, this is a horrible pick. This is an arrogant pick. Where do you think you are in the standings? You're a 7-win ball guy. He was snapping. He's right. But he's right. And this is what people don't want to actually admit to. If one player that is on the field for 60% of the downs hits, it's a bad pick. If one player after that's on the field for, because you got to think, the punter, if this is the team that doesn't punt a lot, like Caleb says it will be, the least amount of punts I think last year was 51 punts. If you punting, that means you impacting the game 51 times in a season.
There better be
if you're somebody that's on the field, impacting the game 60% of the time.
Hey, Pat, maybe it is arrogance.
Game.
Maybe it is the arrogance. Maybe they really do believe that we got this squad that, hey, we only going to punt you just a couple of times a game. And when we do, we're going to pin you. And when we're pinning you, our defense is going to attack you. And there's nothing you could do. If we can, honestly, we can hit teams in so many different ways if this punter turns out to be the Caleb Williams of punting. So I don't know.
I'm gonna tell you this right now. 6'4", what is he? 240 pounds, 250.
He's strong.
That's a failed
punting. He better be fake punting every other play, dog. I swear to God, like this mug better have 6 completed fake punts this year where he's just running dudes over, bro. I'm sorry.
That's a good point too. Yeah, he might be.
We got a linebacker punting. He better be killing dudes back there, man. Hey man, we appreciate y'all tuning in. I'm not going down punter row again.
First
I'm sick
with 100 tackles is what we're looking at.
That's punter row, bro. We sitting here. We talking about punters. Punters?
Not the game.
Not the players. Not the players.
Not the players.
But no, let's keep this thing moving along, man. Appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Just wanted to hit y'all with that breaking news to start off the show. My fault, y'all. Reddit hit me with a wild. This is why I can't have Reddit on the phone, bro. It's good for finding topics, but it's horrible for notifications. I got to kill the Reddit notifications. They just pop up and you be, okay, that's a thing. But no. Strength of schedule was released. The Chicago Bears come in with the 3rd worst or best. I mean, how do you gauge strength of schedule? Being lower is technically better, but also it kind of means you sucked the year before. I don't know. But the Chicago Bears strength of schedule has been released. And the Chicago Bears come in 3rd, let's say worst in the NFL. And my question is for the people out there who
there you go. That's his 3rd easy.
Maybe have the Bears struggling. Who maybe have the Bears kind of like, all right, like this is not a 3rd easiest. Yeah, 3rd easiest. That's a good way to say it. Who maybe have the Bears, still as a 7-8 win team. Does this change your expectation on how much the Chicago Bears are supposed to win this season? Because I already had the Bears around 9-10 wins, or my expectation for this season. I don't think that the strength of schedule changes it for me, especially with how strength of schedule works. Yeah, I mean, like the first game, your strength of schedule can change when everybody wins, or depending on who loses. Yeah, I mean, but what are your thoughts? Do you feel like this should raise the expectation on the Chicago Bears?
Absolutely. And you look at from the standpoint that 3rd easiest schedule, our toughest part of the schedule is within our own division. So don't let anybody in our own division get hurt. Don't let anybody in our own division, maybe don't come up to don't fulfill the pressure that's put on them, like Detroit or Green Bay. Really, Green Bay is going to have a lot of pressure on them. They have the 4th hardest schedule. the fifth hardest schedule. So if you think about the fact that they have a harder schedule than everybody has a harder schedule than us, we've improved. We have a generational quarterback, and this team has generational wide receiver talent pool. Honestly, I don't see why we can't get to 11 wins. That's kind of where my bar is at. And I know it's kind of high, but I'm thinking 11 wins should be where we expect to be, especially because we made the moves we made anticipating making the playoffs next year. We should be competing for the top spot in our own division based on our strength of schedule and also based on our teammates, our opponents in our division strength of schedule.
I'm gonna be honest with you, and this is and I see what Baki is saying. So this is actually where I'm going. I agree with you, Baki. Is that strength of schedule is kind of from year to year. It's kind of I won't say it's a dumb stat, but sometimes it becomes irrelevant because you're basing these percentages off of the teams that were that way last year. But usually from year to year, a team improves. You've seen teams go from worst to first. You've seen teams go from bottom of the barrel and picking top of the draft like the Bears, baby, and then going into the playoffs. So you just never know if those same teams that apparently are weak on our schedule will be better competition. I believe that Calvin is actually right. The most stiffest competition we'll see will be within our division. So if we take care of business within the NFC North, I think we'll be in good hands.
I'm gonna say, looking at the actual opponents that we have to face, obviously we don't know exactly when yet. The actual schedule,
that does make a difference
tomorrow. But it does make a difference because, looking at our opponents, we know we got the people within our division, both home and away, so we know what that is. But imagine you have to face Green Bay, and then you have to face San Fran, and then right after San Fran, you have to face the Jaguars, who, say what you want, up and down, but they can string together a good game. We have a lot of things, like a lot of moments where I feel like we have trap games, and the storylines behind them are big. Like, we're always going to be tied to Carolina, but Carolina also put some pieces around it. They got some help for Bryce Young. I'm
not worried about none of the help they got for Bryce Young. I'm not gonna lie to you.
I'm not overly concerned.
They're leaving that boy out there to die.
But my favorite quote, I can't believe one of my favorite quotes is from Paul Pierce. He said, "I know I'm not better than them, but at any
not the one he said
on
live." Oh, okay.
Yeah, he said about LeBron. He said, "I'm not better than LeBron, but on any given day I can be." And I was like, "Oh, that's a bar." And so, like, at any given day, one of these teams can be the best team that day against us. So that's why I don't really care about it, because I don't look at the Seahawks as an easy team with a rookie QB. I don't look at the Texans as an easy win with the rookie QB. I don't care if he's supposed to be generous. It's his first season. Like, I don't look at these as easy things. I don't look at the Commanders game as easy because, like, I get Caleb was very poised, but now he's literally going to go up against Jaden Daniels. What does that look like? How does that impact him? Stuff like that. The mental aspect of it. I'm always concerned about that side of the football.
But he's not going up against Jaden Daniels. He's going up against the Washington defense, which got a lot worse.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Like, that's I think
Jaden pop off for one good play, then all of a sudden he feels the pressure to be Superman when realistically he could probably do something else. Is he going to take that bait or not? That's what I'm looking at.
I mean, yeah, but that I will say there's a lot that you have to see the player on the field, like especially in the situation the Bears in. I'm trying to see Restream got all this new stuff. I think I could just add media in here. Let me see. Are you not? No, you're not gonna do that. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Hold on. Hold on. I can do this right here. I'm trying to show the dig. Here we go. Foul. How about that? That? There we go. There's the strength of schedule right there. As it sits right now, I mean, here's my thing with all of it, right? Like, strength of schedule is a weird stat in general, because based on 2 wins, based on 2 losses, your team is in a completely different situation. Based on 1 win, right, all of a sudden your strength of schedule goes up from being the 3rd easiest to the 5th hardest, right? And strength of schedule, without knowing the order that the teams are in, I think really changes a lot. The Bears had I want to say the easiest schedule down the stretch after we had acquired Montez Sweat, but it was you still got to go out there and make plays, like P. Kid was saying. And so, to me, I think the big thing that the Bears really need to focus in on with all of this is that this is a season where, with the weaponry you have, you should be able to take advantage of some of these guys, but don't sleep on them. I do think there is that aspect, and that's really what it comes down to me. You can't sleep on anybody. Anybody in the NFL can win any given day. But realistically speaking, when you start to go through some of these teams, right, especially, and I think this is the part too, it's maintaining expectation.
Yeah.
That's the biggest thing. This Bears defense has expectation on it. This Bears defense finished out the season as one of the best defenses in the NFL. There's a real expectation there now for you to go out there and be great. Can you continue to do that? You added some pieces to this defense. You added Austin Booker to this defense. Go out and you get Kevin Byard, who's a ball hawking safety. When you're going up against the Colts, when you're going up against the Commanders, Tennessee, the Jaguars, are those pieces going to continue to make an impact with the things that you had last season? I think those are the most important things that the Bears can focus on with, of course, the strength of schedule. I don't think it raises my expectation, just because to me, I already had my expectations high. We added Keenan Allen. We've improved on the offensive line. We've added to the running game. We've got weapons at every level. My expectations were high coming into this season, no matter what. It didn't change anything for me. I'm not sitting here like, now you should win 13. No, I knew what teams were going to be on the schedule. I knew what the schedule looked like. I mean, if I'm picking wins, I mean, to me, you're splitting with the Lions, or Lions may be a sweep this year, but you're splitting with the Lions, splitting with the Packers. I'll say you sweep the Vikings, maybe. One of those teams you end up sweeping. That puts you at 4-2 in your division.
Yep.
That's not a bad start. Yeah, I mean, outside of that, you should be able to beat Tennessee. They got a whole new situation going on over there, and while they're adding a ton of weapons out there for Will Levis got to prove that to me. You should be able to beat Jacksonville. I just don't believe in Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah, me neither. Especially at home.
I think if Trevor Lawrence played for any other team in the NFL, he would be getting crushed like how Justin Fields was this season.
Isn't their line pretty good, though? Their defensive line?
I mean, here's the thing. All of this stuff on paper was good last year. They should have been able to overcome a lot of the stuff that they couldn't. But, I mean, there was a lot of untimely turnovers from a quarterback on their team that just don't get talked about.
Yeah, but if anything, for me, if anything, like you just said, this just confirmed what I already believe should happen this season coming up. I believe that the Bears should be a 10-11 win team. And at the end of the day, the stiffest competition is within your own division, so you got to control the controllables. And those controllables are who you're playing within your division within the Midwest. You take care of business when you can take care of business, and you got these teams that are not as strong, like you said, Jacksonville, Tennessee, the Patriots. You know, those, in my opinion, I'm not going to – no team is a layup. But I'm going to say those are 3 games right there that you should win. And let's just say you win at least half of your division games. I will hope for more, but let's just minimally say half your division games. That's 7 wins right there, you know. And so your other 3 wins could come from teams like Arizona, Houston, you know, the Colts. You know, the 49ers are tough.
I don't know
the
about
Commanders,
Houston, but I like where you're going with that.
I like the confidence. Houston's going to be a challenge.
Houston will be a challenge.
Houston might be the hardest team we face outside
Neil
of
Hunter and Will Anderson. Yeah, that's going to be.
Houston is probably the hardest team we face outside of San Fran.
My only thing is the only team outside of our division that really makes me go like, all right, we really gotta. I'm really nervous about this team in San Francisco. Outside of that, I'm not really intimidated by any team except for the Packers and the Lions.
Kills me that we blatantly ignore Sunshine's fault.
That's facts, yeah.
Bro, he's the least talked about first overall. I've never heard a first overall pick get talked about this little.
They want him to be so good. That's why.
We've heard more about Jamar Chase's faults in the Super Bowl. In a Super Bowl, he played well. Than we've heard about Trevor Lawrence in the regular season. We hear about the comeback versus the Chargers every year, and all I do is look people in the face and say he had to come back because he threw 4 interceptions in the first half.
You already know why.
We have to talk about the whole picture. But I want don't get me started on the Jaguars. There's a whole different thing. I hope we beat the crap out of them. It irritates me. But I think that to me, when you look at this schedule, it's easy to find 10 wins. It's easy. Now, you got to go out there and do it. It was easy for me to find 10 wins last year. And I think that's the tough part, right? When you look at the schedule, when you look at the strength of the schedule, when you look at how it falls, you go, okay, if we do this in the division, we do this, we do this. We don't crap the bed here. We don't crap the bed here. We don't crap the bed here. All right, boom, we're good. We can have 10 wins. Guess what? That's kind of how last season plays out. If you don't crap the bed versus Denver, that's win number 8. If you don't crap the bed versus Detroit in 2 minutes of a game that you had like 98% chance to win, that's 9 wins right there. If you don't throw the football 40 times versus the freaking Cleveland Browns in the middle of a rainstorm, there might be 10 wins right there, right? Like you can see all of that. And so to me, it's I think what's interesting here is me seeing the 10 wins doesn't mean that there's an expectation of them, but I think that you expect this team to improve somewhat. And 7 wins last season with 3 blown games for sure. I do think that there's more of a standard on this team, more of an expectation from inside of the team to take a step forward. I don't think that Ryan Poles is looking to come out of this season and say, hey, I'm really hoping to, just be competitive this year. Like, I'm going to be real with you. The moves that he made do speak to, hey, we better be competing for a playoff spot.
Yeah.
You don't trade for a Keenan Allen if you don't expect to go try and compete for a playoff spot. You don't trade for Montez Sweat last year coming into this season if you don't expect to go try and compete. You got 2 top picks in the top 10. Those are impactful players adding to a 7-win team. This is a better situation than we've ever seen a football team in. I mean, in my history, in my lifetime.
If I could just add some context, for me, the reason why I think that we are definitively going to be a playoff team is because us having supposedly the weakest schedule, but looking at our opponents, I think Detroit was top 5 too, right? Detroit was top 5
on defense.
Like looking at our division, what was their strength of schedule? I think Green Bay
they're in the top 10.
What was Detroit?
Detroit was top 10. So Detroit is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. No, they're 11th. They're 11th.
Okay,
so I'm concerned about that part.
They've got a 509 win percentage.
Because I do want us to win the division, and it's like, hey, if they have a harder schedule, great, let them go face those guys. I'm not going to sit there and cry over that, right? Let them go take those L's, because there's a situation, and I hate to say it, where we could literally string off 10 wins, but lose against our divisional rivals.
And still win, is what you're saying?
Yeah, like realistically, we could have a winning record, even a better record, but we lose against, like we all have them splitting Green Bay and stuff like that. I don't think we're going to split Detroit. Not just yet. I really have to see it first. Detroit.
We should have blitzed last year.
Detroit looks good. I ain't going to lie. Green Bay, I want us to smack them, but like, let's be real.
I think here's the tough part. By the way, over 200 in the chat. 200. Here's the tough part for me, though, right? Like when you look at Green Bay, or not when you look at Green Bay, when you look at Detroit, the Bears just got their number. I don't know what it is. I have no answers for it. The Bears have their number. And if Matt Eberflus doesn't now, that is a big question.
Matchups matter.
Is Matt Eberflus going to Matt Eberflus this season like he did last season? But if Matt Eberflus doesn't just, magically decide I'm going to take out Tremaine Edmonds and Montez Sweat on the 2 biggest drives of the game, you might end up finding a way to win that game. You were actually kicking the crap out of Detroit heading into that second half. And then in that second game, you basically did it again and just finished it off. You know what I mean? Like, so there's something very much how Green Bay has our number. There's something about Detroit that the Bears have their number right now.
I think we're going to get it done.
You said what?
I think we're going to get it done. You see Flus with the how Stella got his groove back type.
That boy
glowed up, bro. This man is like
Chris Hemsworth in a minute.
Flus coming different, bro. Flus was in the all white the other day. He was on that Agent Flus. You know what I mean? Y'all seen him in that suit?
Damn.
That boy Flus a little drippy out here. You got to relax.
Stylist. Somebody sent them a stylist. Was like, hey, you can't look like that on the podium no more, my
bro. He said it was his wife and his daughters, which is the funniest thing in the the world because it really is what it is. Like your wife is the first person to be. She had to come up to him and just be like, "Hey, dog, like you're the coach of the Chicago Bears, right?" It's like, no, what you mean? I'm just in there with the guys, baby. I'm just moving around. No. You coach the Chicago Bears. They're the first franchise in football. Get a haircut.
You got swag.
You look
Walk around with
stressed,
some confidence. Yeah, man. Yeah.
Hey,
I wanted to point something out.
On that Deion Sanders.
I wanted to point something out earlier. I think our boy Landon Pierman, shout out to him. He said it earlier. This is another reason why I think this is a small percentage of why I think we can be successful too. Is it's not the teams that we play, but it's when we play them. I think that's what he said. Because as you know, part of the game during the season is injury. And this kind of goes back to, the initial topic about, us signing Kiran Amegadjie quickly is the fact that we have a lot of depth. So, if one person goes down like we think, Tevin Jenkins has his annual hiccups or whatever, you have somebody that can, rotate in. You have a lot of swing tackles on this line. You have a lot of players depth-wise all over the place, that we've addressed this year. And I think that's going to play a big part into maybe winning some of these games if some of these teams that we play have major injuries, including some of the good teams that we play, like a Houston or like a Detroit.
Yeah, no, for sure. The big thing about this, especially, and let me see if I can put the schedule back up here, because the big thing about this for me is when you look at this or the opponents that we play, a lot of this starts with, okay, how does Caleb hit the ground running? That's the biggest question. How does Caleb Williams hit the ground running? If your first 4 games of the season are, and I'm going to be real with you, I think we play Detroit to start the season. I think that's going to be the first game of the season. I think we play Detroit to start the season. If your first four games of the season are the Lions in Detroit, the Colts, the Cardinals, and Tennessee, I'm going to have a tough time all offseason not going 3-1, nice. I mean, like I'm going to have a tough time all offseason not looking at that and saying, I'm going to be realistic about this, but like maybe we lose to Detroit. Maybe that's the one. But, 3-1. Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, I mean, like that start off to a season is different than if you start off your season and you got Detroit, San Francisco, the Vikings, and then the Packers. Yeah, I mean, like you running through the division week 1. Like that makes a big difference in, okay, you're starting off your career going up against the best of the best versus you're starting off your career against some teams that you should be able to take advantage of. And, like that to me is the biggest, when you talk about the strength of schedule, it's so important how it falls because last season, right, our strength of schedule to finish the season, I was sitting there looking at it, I was like, yo, we can win a lot of games if we wake up. They woke up a little bit. The defense started getting itself going. Things started moving in the right direction. If they don't shoot themselves in the foot in 2 games, you do win a lot of games. Now, they do shoot themselves in the foot in 2 games, so it ends up 4-3. But there was opportunity there last season to take advantage of your strength of schedule. Now it's just about doing it this year to me.
I hope we don't play the Panthers the first week.
I do.
Why is that?
Well, no, I think it's going to be Detroit. It's going to be a divisional game to me.
Because I could just see that being a game we get cheated. It's criminal. Hey, listen, it's criminal the way Post did them people.
Hey, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you.
He need a 10-year bid for the way he robbed them people.
Hey, bro, I'm not gonna lie to you. It's hard to cheat a team that's up 30. I have no faith in the Carolina Panthers, bro. I'm gonna tell you this right now. I love the fact that we have fleeced them, but I almost feel bad.
I do.
I almost feel bad that I don't feel bad that they're bad because that's good for us. Them being bad means our second round pick is good. Means I love that. But I feel bad for Bryce, bro. They ran Bryce out there and was like, hey, you know what we got for you, dog? Here we go. We about to start your career. Adam Thielen.
Hey, nah.
Hey, that boy face looked just like Neighbor's face when he realized where he was going.
He said, "Oh no."
Hey, neighbors look like didn't he just cancel some bet for rookie of the year or something like that? That boy done
Oh, well,
conceded all
see,
the stuff.
that's so. I wonder if the NFL made them do that because it was announced. I wonder if the league made them do that because they found out about like the reasoning behind it on the league gambling stuff that people were talking about. That makes a lot of sense to me because like I just you can't place a public bet and to say we got $10,000 on it.
I mean, it's a wager between guys,
but you can't do that. That's the NFL rules. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that's legit. I think that bet was called off because the NFL was like, listen, we know y'all like are new here, so we're not gonna suspend you.
because this was 6 games.
Call that on publicly, dog. Like what do you do? Did you see Detroit last year? Shambles. Yeah, I mean, so I think the NFL kind of stepped in and did them a favor. But no, man, like I actually feel bad for the Panthers. I think the one team on this list, if there's one team on this list that I'm gonna be watching closely, though. Well, I don't feel bad for the Panthers. I feel bad for Bryce Young. They're very different.
Very different.
To me, and I'm saying this because we've experienced this. And actually, let me see kind of where their strength of schedule is at here. Because I believe that CJ Stroud is a really good quarterback, but Houston comes in.
Woo! Top
they have the fourth toughest strength of schedule this year. Can you do it again? Matt Nagy was the coach of the year. That Chicago Bears defense was dominant. Looked like we finally had an offense, 24-12 with True. Looked like things were moving in the right direction. One field goal kick. And tell me I'm wrong. People left that playoffs saying if we made that field goal, we could have went to the Super Bowl.
That's a fact.
People left that playoff series saying if we made that field goal, we could have went to the Super Bowl.
I remember that. Yep.
And so my biggest thing, and this is my biggest thing with all coaches, if Caleb Williams is good this year, if the Bears figure it out, if the Bears are a 12-win team, I'm going to say this about the Bears, and I'm going to say it about Houston right now. Prove me right. Because I've seen the one-year pop-ups. And I've come into the next season with expectation and hype, and I can't believe we're here. And here we go. Do it again. I think CJ Stroud can do it again. I think that he's that level of player, but there's a lot tougher competition knocking at your door this year.
I mean, who is he going to play that he hadn't seen right now?
Let me see. I probably can look up
the Bucks was good last season. He beat them.
I mean, it just depends on the schedule. If the teams around that he's playing is
getting better. Oh no, he got smoked by the Ravens.
Here's the thing, though. I mean, like we could say the same thing about the Bears. The Bears played well against the division that first year. They didn't do it the second year.
Well, Pat, I hate to say this, dog, but we didn't have Caleb, so we have a better quarterback. I don't want to like besmirch our old quarterback anymore.
No, I mean he was trash. He was trash.
But like when you have a better quarterback with better anticipatory throws and stuff like that, I don't think it's the same.
This is not just but this is not just a Bears thing. You know what I'm saying? This is not just a Bears. How many teams have we seen in the NFL that had a hot season? And then all of a sudden we were like, what the heck happened to those boys?
Hey, my G, I'll take that hot season. I want Caleb to have that hot season. I want to
No, I hear you. But we've had that hot season. We've had the 12-4 season. We've done the pop-up seasons.
I give it to them with a better quarterback.
My biggest thing with everybody is prove it again. If you can do it 2 years in a row, cooking. Here we go. Because
that's the thing.
Look at Jacksonville last year. They added a ton of Jacksonville last year. As we're talking about Jacksonville, there's no way you didn't come off of that season on a high, feeling like, okay, Trevor figured it out. Second half, blah, blah, blah. Here we go. All right, we got something here. We're going to make something happen. And you got to this season, you had more weapons, you had more on the offensive line, you had more on the defensive line, you had more DBs, you had more linebackers, and you had a worse football team.
I just think with CJ Stroud, like you mentioned, his dominance. I think from year to year, you have to continue to try and I don't want to say perfect your craft, but try to add something to it because now they have tape on you. They have things they can go back to and say, okay, how can we attack him differently? So it's going to be the mental game, I think, with CJ now. CJ is still going to be a really good quarterback, regardless. They enhanced his team. They got him better receivers too. So he's still going to be who he is, but I think he'll have a little bit more of a different challenge this year.
And this isn't me hoping CJ. I think CJ's good. I think he will answer the questions. This is just how I deal with the NFL. This is how I deal with when you look at even how well they were coached last year. I've seen teams that seemed well coached that the second season comes around and you like, hey, why y'all can't coach no more?
Yep.
What changed from this year to this year?
That's been here.
With
you know
the
what
rookie,
I mean?
what you've come into, it's once people start getting real tape on you. Now I got to see the tape. What are your tendencies? Oh, he don't like throwing left. Okay, let's make sure we force him that way. Things of that nature. And then how do you respond to that? So it's always that chess game within it. Like you say, some teams just always have your number until you kind of figure that out. And so that's where I'm like, hey, we have one of the weakest schedules, easiest schedules. I want Caleb to have that 11, 12 win season because next season he might have that season where it's like 9, 10 because teams are like, all right, now we understand what you can do and stuff like that. You now have to start that maturing in the league type situation. So I think this is one of those things where like we're talking about CJ, you hope it's not just like a flash in the pan. For Caleb, I want him to have that season. I want him to have that season to build that confidence because the next season tends to be the hardest. Like I look at Patrick Mahomes, he kind of had that. They went like 12 wins, then he went 10 wins. I mean, it's only 2 games, but they had the infrastructure and stuff like that, and people start to kind of figure them out a little bit. You look at even last season, nobody had them favorited. No one really thought that they were going to be like the champs. They just made it happen.
You know what's funny about Pat Mahomes? Pat Mahomes absolutely had a fall-off season his second year.
But the first season was so great.
It's because the first year he threw 5,000 yards, 50 touchdowns, and 12 interceptions.
That's insanity.
That's crazy.
The next year he was a regular quarterback. He threw 4,000 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 5.
You can't even get that. I'll take regular.
Oh God!
I'll take regular.
Oh, if Caleb has Patrick Mahomes' second season, we crowning him. You know what I mean? Like that's where we at right now. Caleb.
Life is real, man. It's exciting because, like, even if you look on Bears Twitter right now, there's a video the Bears posted just an hour ago of Caleb throwing to our top receivers, and it's just the ball's coming out this man's hand crispy, man. I don't even lie.
Everybody's going nuts over that, huh?
According to Courtney Cronin, bro, and she was there. She was and I got to talk to her yesterday on the show, and I said, Courtney, don't you say that. You're going to get these people too excited. She said how it comes off his hands. He flick it like Rodgers.
Woo. Hey, man. Hey, bro.
Hey,
don't
listen.
Leave it alone.
Hey.
Like I was sitting there. I was like, Courtney, don't say that. You're going to get these Bears fans all tingly out here. But I mean, listen. I think here's the thing, though. Here's the difference.
Hey, Courtney, what you mean by that, my G?
Calm down there. I gotta look her in the eye. No, but no, like I think that the funny thing about like seeing Caleb Williams do all of this stuff and seeing him is the not to say that we haven't seen this before, right? We've seen this every time they put out a hype video. It's amazing. How many times do we see, the Justin Fields DJ Moore connection? We like, here it is now. That actually was something that was real. So yeah, I mean, but you got to see it on the field. I would hope that you could throw. At a minimum, I would hope that you can be consistent in placing the football with nobody rushing.
Hey Pat, you've seen him in person. And you've seen so far. You've seen these videos. It didn't look the same.
No, I mean here's the thing. No, the Justin videos do look the same but here's the difference. I was there for when they did the one. Remember the one where DJ Moore's running down the sideline? Yeah. Justin lets it fly. Falls into DJ Moore's hands, touchdown. That's the video that me and J-Mac was standing on the sideline going, sack, 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 sack. There you go.
Are you talking about the whole holding of the ball?
The Bears social media team will never not make the team look good.
That's their job.
That's their job. It's what they're supposed to do. But there's no pass rush. There's nobody trying to attack him. I love the fact that he's able to hit the receivers in the hands. It does look pretty coming off his hands. It does look like he throws a very beautiful ball. And I hope that we see that on a absolutely consistent pace. But that's the thing. That's the thing about it. The consistency of it. I believe that there will be a little bit more consistency because that's kind of where he operates from the pocket, throwing the football. But let's not sit here and get too hype over the t-shirt and shorts video. This is men's version of like I don't even know how to say it because I guess that's also a man thing as well. But like, you know, when you see the bikini girl come out of the water all glazed up and you just like that video, this is the sport version of that. Like seeing a dude drop back and just throw a perfectly timed ball. Like it's just, they got Caleb Williams over there. Yeah, I mean, they got him looking like a bear around honey. You know what I'm saying? Like that's kind of
a bear around honey.
You know what I'm saying?
I don't know why that made me think of that Shannon Sharp.
Listen, I'm not saying don't be excited. Be excited about it. Love it. But
they
like,
calling you a buzzkill, Pat. Come on now.
But bro, like, no, because here's my thing.
We just ain't never had this
The
before.
Bears not finna put out a slow motion video where Caleb rolls to the left and he's doing the footwork and he's throwing the off balance pass into the defender's hand.
Hey, they got to do it like they do Paul George. They got to put some slow music behind it.
They can make him look good.
They got to put some slow music behind it.
They got to put the slow music behind it?
The slow music behind it. They got to give him the Paul George
treatment.
Yeah. I love to see it.
Pat, we just ain't never had this before, bro. Never. And
it's just the hype around it. I agree.
I
agree.
The hype is there, but I think the hype is real, bro. Like honestly, you look at this guy, the stuff that we wanted Justin to do, and even me as a big Justin Fields fan, and still is, you know, the way how the ball comes off his hands so quick, the way how he's able to throw them into stride, he throws them open. And Justin didn't really do that consistently.
Well, say that part again. Say that part
again.
Again. Hold on. Wait. Justin
Lord.
did what?
Yep. He's about to press record.
Justin didn't do what?
He throws them open.
What did Justin do?
He didn't do that.
Okay, why do you keep trying to open wounds, man? What's wrong with
opening wounds?
Like,
this man was like,
he got a whole thing of ironized salt.
We're not trading Justin. We're going to sit there, trade this pick, get the haul. Like, I remember this. I remember he was the haul guy.
And if we got the haul, I would have been cool. But I'll be honest with you. I'm living in the moment, bro.
You know what my favorite part about C-Dub was? When we were sitting here and like, I was still, you know, a champion for Justin, but I was also like, listen, you can't look at this kid's tape and say he's not good. And C-Dub was kind of like, nah, I think Justin do that. And I'm like, nah, you might need to look at the tape. And then C-Dub was like, you know, I must say, I haven't watched the tape. And I was like, wait a minute.
The very next day,
week over week, you start to watch the tape.
The very next day, I
start to watch the tape, dog.
I said, oh,
he was like, I don't know. He went from, we not trade him to, I don't know. He might be good.
He might be really good.
You know,
bro, the second Dub watched his tape, he was like, oh, snap.
Hey, man,
it's a real deal, man. It's a real deal, bro. We really got, ooh, maybe I'm really living in this moment. We really got the LeBron James hype going on.
Oh, that is.
You said we got the LeBron?
We got.
LeBron had a lot of hype coming into the NBA. LeBron had a lot of hype coming into the NBA, and I think I'm not saying the national media, but Chicago is probably living in that same hype.
No,
moment.
The national media is too. Because I ain't gonna lie to you, I think I may finally be proven wrong. But it's been, listen, I was right for a long time. So technically I'm not proven wrong. But the Bears may actually get Hard Knocks.
Oh,
they
really?
may finally force Hard Knocks on the Bears.
Hey, that's a lot of good content.
It's gonna be phenomenal content. Like
I don't see no Hard Knocks there. No.
Phenomenal.
I guarantee you, if they get Hard Knocks, there won't be any exposure of anything crazy. Like if the Bears sign off on that, like you said before, they're not gonna embarrass themselves with something like that.
I think what's funny about it is like it took it took so much happening this offseason for them to finally be like, we're gonna have to force this on you and just deal with your wrath later. Because I guarantee you there's gonna be a repercussion. There's gonna be some vote that they want to put through that the McCaskies aren't gonna co-sign on, and they're gonna be like, well, if you sign on this, everybody else is sign on this, and they're gonna be like, nope, you gave us hard knocks. Oh, there's gonna be some fight back. But I think this is the first year that the NFL might be like, you're doing it, and there's nothing else to say about it.
There's not that many other teams that's eligible, but
Virginia gonna have fire and brimstone.
I've watched very little of Hard Knocks. I wasn't a fan of it, so it wasn't my thing.
Me too.
So I didn't really get into it.
I liked old Hard Knocks. Old Hard Knocks was cool when Shannon and them was on it. That was cool because that was for real. They was doing just dumb stuff, and you was just like, I don't know if we supposed to see this.
So is this like just reality TV? Because like I heard it's changed. This is reality
behind the
TV
scenes in the locker room type stuff.
It's supposed to be like exposure inside of the locker room. You get to see behind the scenes. You get to see a lot of the stuff that's going on. You get to see kind of what Caleb is working through. You get to see, like it's supposed to be, but at a certain point it becomes acting with some of it. And I'm gonna be real with you. I don't think the Bears had the personalities for it to be entertaining.
Only Caleb.
That's a good point too.
This is his.
Who is it like a animated like type of character type of person?
You know who's gonna be our favorite person coming out of Hard Knocks? We talked about this on the Bears pod too. EO did like if the Bears get Hard Knocks, who do you think is gonna come out great? Who's gonna look bad? Wow. I think Patrick Scales is gonna be our favorite person off of Hard Knocks. He's just a bro. He's just a bro.
I didn't know
bro.
That name was coming.
Like, you're going to see Scales. You're going to see him behind the scenes just, like, cracking a beer. You'd be like, hey, bro, ain't you supposed to be long snapping? I got you. Don't worry about it. Foul. There you go. Yeah, I mean, like it's not going to be – DJ Moore is not going to give you anything. Montez Sweat is not going to give you anything. Tremaine Edmonds isn't going to give you anything. TJ Edwards isn't going to give you anything. Like, who's the – like, I guess Jalen Johnson, maybe the DBs is going to be lit.
All the young players will. All the vets won't.
Maybe we'll find out why Velus Jones is still on the team.
You just
whatever his blackmail is.
You just see his phone as he's walking past. You're just like, wait a minute. Who is that in that dress?
Hey, why you always got this black folder with you, my boy? What's in there? What's in this black folder? What's in this bag?
Velus using the folder like the Death Note. He like, don't make me write your name down in there.
you
know what? As soon as Flus be like, hey, listen, we're not going to start Velus. He just go.
Right, you know what I mean? Velus Jones will be on the team. Oh man, I don't know, man. Hard Knocks is gonna be weird. I'm not a big Hard Knocks. I'm not a Hard Knocks guy, but the one thing I'll say about this, the Bears have enough real people that I'm not worried about the acting. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like the Bears have enough players that they keep it 100. Like, when I meet these muds, like DJ Moore is not different for the cameras than he is in real life. DJ be like, I'm here with my family and I'm going home.
Yeah, he really ain't about that.
He not about none of that. Yeah, I mean, so I think that
I did peep that when you were at the draft. You were alongside my son with his kid.
Montez, when I want to interview him, I want to interview Montez, and they both was like, "Nah, bro, I'm chilling with the fam." I was like, "All right, not finna have me browbeating you." Like, hey, appreciate you talking to me. Welcome to the back room where nobody's at. Then all the people came back there. Bro, hey, some of y'all gotta relax too. I ain't even bring this up. It was a card dude up there that wanted people to sign his cards. And he was a little too bold. Like, I'd have had to piece Buddy up. Like,
really?
Bro, because the back room was supposed to be like the room where like the players could chill in. Like, well, everybody couldn't get back there. I could get back there because I had the media pass and stuff like that. This man walked back there with the confidence of Jesus Christ.
Sometimes you gotta let it up, put it on the table, baby. Sometimes you gotta let it hang.
I was gonna say that's what you gotta do if you ain't really supposed to be a part. You gotta act a part.
Dog, that man walked back there and he was like, "Hey, yo, DJ, how about signing this?" I was like, "Hey, I ain't gonna lie. If you jump him right now, I help." The guy, bro, like the energy he gave off, I was like, "Nah, bro, he disrespected."
Gave it like, you owe me this signature.
Oh, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, and I found out apparently there's some of these autograph hounds, they will have you sign your name in blue ink because they can then press it on another card and they can have multiples of your signature.
Yep.
Crazy, bro.
Stop it.
Crazy,
Wow.
bro. Red Sea Gaming said, hold up, Bears agreed to do. They have not agreed to do Hard Knocks. The Bears will go into Hard Knocks kicking and screaming, but it does seem like
It's likely.
the likely team that's going to be getting Hard Knocks this year may end up being the Chicago Bears.
There are no rules, just consequences.
I like that. I ain't gonna lie to you. There are no rules, just consequences. I feel like that's kind of how I live my life. Hey, man, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. Man, so much more coming you guys' way. What'd you say, Baki? Baki said, told y'all yesterday, Bayless is Virginia mistress. What, Baki?
Whoa.
That's a tough joke, Baki. Relax there, my G. Relax there.
Hey, nothing is bad. Nothing is worse as the Tom Brady roast, boy. They was going in on that one. So.
Oh, bro, they was cooking that, man. So I ain't gonna lie to you. But no, man, appreciate y'all for tuning in, showing love. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page. Leave that 5-star review. Y'all know what to do. For the pettiest man alive, Mr. P. Kid, of course, the host of the Chicago Bears Breeze. Maybe we'll get a video one day. Jordan JC and hey, even Kid dropped today. How Kid beat you? I mean, Kid got a double drop. I saw a new thumbnail and everything. And of course, C-Tub.
It's coming your way.
The designer.
Triple drop. Drop. I don't know what's happening with that guy. That's just,
yeah, right. You know what I mean? Yeah,
he has the team we actually care about and know where he's not dropping.
Right.
What's happening?
Oh, God. He just had to. Okay. All right.
Yeah, he's going to go fry a steak.
Time to go.